Hello everyone, welcome to another Oceanink Series match. First time actually commentating a proper series match. We're starting off with Galinkxy, sorry, but that name's a bit confusing, versus Sailor Veemos, and I'm joined once again with Ryan and Nyterra.
Hey yo, we're now going with the Nyterra combo. That's what we're calling it officially.
Alright,
Classic, exactly.
And we're starting off with Rainmaker on Skipper here. And we're seeing a pretty, well, not really a standard comp here, because we've got double anchor coming out from Galinkxy, while Sailor Veemos is sticking with the more standard one here. And we've got Capitan and Tomoyo just going for a trade right at the start of the match. Really goes in for an aggressive push and gets out two of them. That's a really strong start here for Sailor Veemos with an effective
Galaxy is not going too well. I mean, their team composition is really focused based on how they can defend and hold the point first and then slowly push in. But a lot of them are being scattered and it's not going very well for them. Tomoyo is in there right there, getting catched off by Captain right here. And there we go.
Yeah, we do see that Zackboy, I believe it was, does manage to get the Rainmaker before going down. But we're still seeing that Sailor Veemos here, still really holding up on this push here. Really does go down, obviously, and Captain now does also. So it's looking like it's probably going to be the end now with an unfortunate time on the Rainmaker grab here, as they've had the back all the way back into mid here. So it looks like Sailor Veemos and the Stingray comes out. Yeah, that's pretty much one dead Rainmaker here, as I would say that Sailor Veemos a fairly strong opening here, but wasn't able to quite get the push going. I think really was being a little too aggressive, pushing in too much. And the Rainmaker finally does it.
There we go. Zackboy doing pretty well there, but he was still very cornered into his own his own zone, because there wasn't anyone that's really toughing. All their team are like scattered again, like I was saying. Brad needs to really push in forward here and make a line of fire for Zack to run in. And there we go. We do see another push going to be made by Sailor Veemos here. We're gonna move in forward a bit more. Tomoyo is trying to get in, going with the Booyah Bomb, and yep, we get the Captain.
Yes, we are seeing that numbers went down on both teams here, but once again the raid comes out. That's going to be another Rainmaker gone here. Inkel also being pushed all the way into upper mid because of Zackboy and Red, I believe it is on the roller.
Yeah.
No wait, that's the heavy on the roller. I'm not sure who the roller actually is. So we are seeing that I can't remember the team name. Sorry, can you remind me?
Instead of Veemos, then Galaxy. There we go.
Yes, Galaxy. I was thinking of Inkpack from Div 5, I believe it was. But yeah, you could see they were trying to go for a push from the sneak here on the low mid, but unfortunately you had Capitan and I believe someone else here ready to push it. Capitan going into a very aggressive spot here to pick up the Rainmaker, and we are seeing that they were able to make it out of that conundrum, but the whole team goes down with them. So Capitan here in a bit of a bad spot gets taken out by Tommy.
Nice.
Not sure about that play personally there. It was a bit I feel like Capitan was a bit too hasty on the idea of getting that back to mid, and now
I feel like that was a good play.
It was a good play in terms of getting Rainmaker out of lower mid, but it just went right back down to the Gardener, yes, and into
essentially a reset, right?
Yeah, right into Inkpack's grasp, and they already got the lead out of that because yeah, really not sure about that play. But we are seeing now Zackboy able to get the Rainmaker all the way to 24, all the way to 17.
Nicely done. Galaxy is pushing it. I think the entire problem there is mainly that Zackboy was their Slayer, and that Zackboy, the minute he got the Rainmaker, their whole team is down. They didn't have a Slayer to push forward in, and that just made it so hard to move in anymore.
Yeah, so now it's Sailor Veemos' turn to bring this back to mid once again. Hopefully this time they're actually able to get to stay alive and get the push going. We are seeing they've got two specials out. They've used both of them now, but Capitan's stuck stalling in mid, and the Rainmaker comes out, and it does look like some obstacle dodging here, but it does mean they have to push from the sneak now, which is a lot less favorable because Brad and the Dynamo on Tomoyo are both looking at 3 bombers coming out, and they do manage to escape, but once again, they're just kind of stuck looking for an opening to actually push into the base here, and neither of them are really working. Fushi here with the Enzap is trying to make a push here, but Zackboy does effectively make a trade here, and I believe it was Brad that ended up getting the splash here. So yeah, we did see that Galinkxy there had a pretty beautiful use of their specials and their anchors to try and force Sailor Veemos not being able to make a decisive entrance into any of the bases.
Yeah, but I feel like that was a lot of resources used just to hold a point. They are really good at holding a point. They're not good at moving in. We do see a few good moments, and that's great, but that's all they're ever gonna make out of it, and that becomes a problem for them.
Speaking of problems, we're seeing here that only the anchors are up now on Galinkxy. One goes down, but so do two of Sailor Veemos. However, both of the anchors are out of the way now. It's up to Zackboy and the Roller to stop this Rainmaker push, and they do it pretty
They've got
masterfully.
this.
Just because Roller things, and I think that
yeah,
I think
Roller things, exactly.
Sailor Veemos, there was a little too enthusiastic on getting the push going, I believe, and they didn't really assess where the rest of the teammates would be. As we can see, Galinkxy going for the reset, pretty smart idea considering how
good play by Zackboy.
Yeah. And we're seeing now Sailor Veemos is still going for aggressive pushes. They do manage to take out the Dynamo, but there is also a Stingray ready. So without having a focus on the pop yet, I don't know if Sailor Veemos is actually going to be able to even get an overtime, especially after the Spike Roll there goes for a little dance. Yeah, a pretty confident game.
Right?
Yeah, pretty confident game that went 1-up in Galinkxy's favor there. Obviously, it was a pretty defensive and kind of mid-based match where both teams were kind of stuck around the 70 scoreline for most of it. But we saw that an unfortunate wipe on Sailor Veemos' part and a really fortunate timing there on the Rainmaker grab from Zackboy meant that they were able to get a really good scoreline that Sailor Veemos just wasn't able to organize themselves to overtake.
So real quick, I want to talk about the team here because I do remember who's playing. In that match, we had Zackboy, Tomeo, Brett, and G. G is actually Glitchy, if you didn't know already. Glitchy was a co-captain of Prismatink, now disbanded into Galaxy. And if y'all, that's why the names are familiar, you know. And I think we realized Hess might have accidentally just got in as Glitchy went out. So whoopsie there. But yeah, Glitchy was a prominent roller player in Prismatic, and is still a prominent roller player now. So we do see a lot of that going on. For Sailor Veemos, I think Sailor Veemos Galaxy has been a rivalry team, I would say. I've seen them playing a lot back in the day. Anything you can share on Sailor Veemos?
I've just known them for a while because I was obviously part of 5 O'Clock last season, and I've been involved in the Philippine scene for a bit then. And Sailor Veemos is quite a, I guess the right word I'd put on them is rowdy. You know, I've played a couple of PBs with them, and they're quite a loud team. And I'm sure it goes on in the VC during these series matches as well. Sorry for the call out there.
No worries.
What I can say is that Captain is the captain, and they're mostly a prominent anchor player, I'd say. I've seen them play ballpoint for quite a while now. And what's the other members? Really is a prominent frontliner, as we saw. They were on the 10th Tech earlier this match. And I'd have to get a refresh on the names, so hopefully the stream comes up with those in a short minute.
Oh, there is one player I want to talk about as well.
Yeah?
I am Brett. Brett.
Yes, Brad. I'm quite familiar with him as well.
Brett was in the Midnight Turfers in Season 2. In Season 3, I wasn't around, so I can't make any comments on that as much as I know a lot of the players. But Brett is a force to be reckoned with. He might have played for the Midnight Turfers in Division 6, but he has the skill of at least a Division 2, and I swear if he had like the chance to go to Division 1, he probably has a good team to go into Division 1. But he still sticks with loyalty here over the fact that he could have got quality and goes on with Prismatic, now known Galaxy. So I can't wait to see that because I've seen him play just now. As the solo anchor of his team, he was holding it down pretty well against like Captain and Fushi alone. So it's interesting to see when Zackboy comes into play now in this team compared to before.
Yes, and we're seeing onwards to Albacore. If you're talking about roller play here, it looks like they've chosen to switch out, and that's pretty understandable considering the map is New Albacore Hotel, which is pretty terrible for rollers and a lot of short range comps.
That's fair. So I don't think we will see Zackboy playing the NZAP anymore. Most likely, maybe a bit of a switch to something a bit longer.
NZAP is still fairly powerful here. It's not the best special on this map zone-wise because you want more that can focus on area control, and armor just isn't that. However, it's still very powerful as a general zones and general special. And if it helps the team retake it, it helps the team.
I feel like it's gonna be a dually though. That's the thing, because I have seen Zackboy play. I've seen him play with Dapples before, and in Albacore, you don't want to be caught on the grills. Especially when you have a dualies on you, they're gonna close up, they get fast. And if it's a Dapples, you're gonna just say bye-bye. Just, sink down to the bottom, get out of there. You're done.
Honestly, I don't entirely agree with that. Just because Dapple's not the ideal dueling on this map. The ideal dueling on this map is the Squelchers, because what Squelchers have is the best kit for this map mode combination.
Are we talking about custom?
Bomb, yeah, obviously. I mean, the missiles are fine, but Splat Bomb Rain is a great Splat Zones combination. And it's also that it has really, really good mobility. You know, Dapple's only 2 dodge rolls doesn't mean a whole lot for them, or 2 dodge rolls with the dual Sculpture is enough to completely close out or get out of the range of someone. And
now we do see a lot of it. Yeah, we don't see that. Oh, Hess? You might want to charge that battery, but looking at this composition, we do see a lot of Kensa weapons coming into play now, and a bit of returning weapons. So like kind of like Kensa, yeah.
2 K shots or 2 Kensa shots means 2 Tenor missiles, 1 for both team. I'm not entirely sure about that on this map because Tenor missiles really, really excel on maps that are bumpier, where you've got less movement and that. And I feel like this map is one of the flattest in the game, and there's not a whole lot of obstacles generally. It seems like a bit of a misplay, and we're seeing here that at least personally in my opinion, we're seeing here the armor came out, but I feel like it was a bit of a rush here. And now Inkel gets a Stingray.
Yeah, that's fair.
The Tenor missiles do. And
oh no, go ahead.
We're seeing all these specials came out. I think every team used about 3 of them, and ultimately it's still kept in Galankxy's favor because I feel like Sailor Veemos here just poor use of those specials, and we're also seeing here they don't have great specials for recapping because you've got Stingray, which is overall good on this map, but then you have a Splashdown, which is okay, but it's not the best on this, and then you've got Tenor missiles, which aren't the best, and then you've got Rain, which is good, but it's just not enough. They needed like Bubbles or Buller, and you can see that they just never had retake capabilities, and it was just a complete flush.
I think that was the game plan. Because I do see that kid, I realize they have a lot of instant gratification support, and like the burst bombs, and like anything that would give you an immediate effect, like suction bombs holding at the point, waiting for it to explode, or burst bombs that gives instant damage. I think their plan was to just grab the zone and just deny them as long as we can. But I think Galankxy played the game. They didn't play like the player matchup, they played the game. They knew what they want, they threw in their specials at the right time, they knew what they were aiming for, and that was very important. But it's a bit of a shame that we're to see a short game like that.
I mean, what it showed is, what you saw is that Galinkxy came in there with a Booyah Bomb. Their specials overall for capping weren't the best either, but they came in with a Booyah Bomb, which just gives you immediate ways to actually approach the mid, while Sailor Veemos didn't have any kind of special that actually let them approach mid, so it meant that they were just kind of stuck hoping for Stingray picks, which isn't ideal. It just meant that Galinkxy had a it wasn't a free knockout, but it was a very, very uncontested knockout, I would say. Anyway, moving on to Clan Blitz on Wulai here. I personally love this map, but I can see some people maybe agreeing less so on that one. Obviously, this is the mode where you do want good special coordination, and you do want to try and control the enemy base for great scorelines. Hopefully these teams can show that here. Especially if anyone can run a good bubble weapon or ball weapon. I don't really support ball strats on this on Clan Blitz, but if it means that you can get a 50-point scoreline, it means you get a 50-point scoreline. So
yeah, that's true. But that's the thing, because I'm a bit skeptical about Galankxy in this game, because being in their team before, I know that Tomoyo isn't a player that has come in. Pretty Porns is also a new player, and like I said, Brad wasn't in Galankxy / Prisma for a while. So this composition might come down to playing with exploiting the map and the mode more. And Sailor Veemos still has a consistently tight-knit team. They know what they're doing together. They know how to excel or push out their players' strengths and weaknesses in that sense. So this is interesting. I think this might go to Sailor Veemos, but I'm pretty sure Galankxy wouldn't go down without a fight, right?
I'm not gonna make any predictions, because overall I'm not sure if either of these teams have strong specials within their team's rosters, weapons, I guess, to really make this work. And we're seeing Booyah Bomb Baller and Stingray versus Booyah Bomb. So yes, Sailor Veemos doesn't have any traditional thing. Capitan's sticking with a Stingray instead of going for the deco kit for the bubbles, I suppose. But we're seeing that Galinkxy here going with a Booyah Bomb and a Baller, which are both pretty strong specials. No bubbles, but that's fine. It's still good kit to work with. We're seeing an early pick here. The 10 attack goes down to what I believe was the heavy, and we're seeing that Galinkxy here going for a lot of mid control already. The Duel is fishing for a pick on the NZAP. The NZAP goes for it, but doesn't actually manage to find anyone. They're just kind of playing around footsies. But we're seeing here, terrible play there from Galinkxy. They tried to go for a pick right as the armor came out. They both just went into enemy ink and went down straight away.
It almost feels like they were disconnected from the team entirely. They didn't know what they were gonna do, and that was the entire problem. Fushi almost making it dead there, and they lose the super clam right there. That narrow corner and Stingray,
yeah, it was a poor time. They should have backed out as soon as the Stingray came out. Throwed the clam just to get the point sensor off of them pretty much, and just tried to recoup. But we're seeing here, Inkjet comes out, so does the Booyah Bomb. However, Sailor Veemos only has 15 clams, give or take. And it's just, they don't have a whole lot to actually make a push going here. So Inkel in their base, but does manage to get the pick. The Dynamo, they do get the score, and the Dynamo does go down here. Really's got a lot of clams to actually start making a scoreline push here, but they do go down to what I believe was red on the heavy. And now Sailor Veemos just doesn't have any kind of push into the basket, and they've had to end their push, and it means they're 71, which is pretty easy to overcome.
Let's see how this goes. We do see Tomoyo going down to Inkel here. Inkel might be ready to go Booyah Bomb in a bit. Just need to charge up a bit more and hold down. Because with 9 clams, they want to be ready for it. And they have Ink Armor as well. I think they're ready to go.
The armor out. Inkel's got the clam. They've thrown it in. I'm not sure where the rest of the clams are.
Yeah, he got it.
There goes the jump with the super clam. That means they've got a fairly good lead here. Down to 33.
Another
30.
one.
All the way down to 30. That's effectively a 40 push there, which is fairly strong, especially considering that earlier push, bringing the score all the way down to 30, which is a very, very powerful push. Granted, this isn't the hardest map to actually approach with baskets, so a 30 isn't the most stable lead, but it is still very, very strong, especially considering that Galinkxy hasn't gotten a single clan in the basket yet and hasn't really held any so far.
I think that's the biggest issue of their composition. A lot of their weapons are really slow and either short range or just slow rate of fire. With the Dynamo, you don't have a lot of coverage, but you have kill power. But with this map with so many walls up, it's gonna be hard to even get one. They can just like cover around corner, go around it, that's it. And even with the dualies, the only choice is to baller in.
Well, what I would say is that the Dynamo does have good coverage, but it has a hard time against the enemy heavy, and I'm not sure where Brad has been to try and keep the other heavy on contest. Anyway, we do see Inkel here going for a straight down the mid push, does get taken down, and Zachary also takes out the Stingray. Bit of a bad timing there from Sailor Veemos now. Fushi here stuck in a retreating mid, as we're seeing here that the Dynamo's excellent turfing capabilities are finally getting to hopefully shine, but it looks like coming in here is going to have to back out once again. Armor comes out once again. We've seen 3 armors here. We've seen I believe that was armor on Sailor Veemos, but it might have been on Galinkxy actually. Sorry, my bad if that was the case. But we are seeing Sailor Veemos here still holding a dominating control of mid here, as Ink, Galinkxy. Sorry, I think I got the teams wrong there. It was Sailor Veemos with the mid control. We're seeing here that the Dynamo once again gets taken out just because the K-Pro and the Heavy are just giving so much denial of the control that the Dynamo wants to actually take. Inkel does get taken out by the Ram. We're seeing Zachboy and Pretty Boys here do manage to 2v1 on Really, which is fairly strong there.
Would you see a push coming in?
Yeah, it's very possible. The armor comes out. Pretty Poise is trying to push up, but armor's come out on both teams now. Inkel does manage to take out Pretty Poise before the Baller can do anything. So it means that Zachboy does have to use the Baller early. Really does get taken out. They do get the push in.
Did you see it? There we go.
As you can see, they take the wipeout, and they all choose to throw clams when they only had about 8 clams in total, which isn't even close.
They didn't have a choice, right? They have to push in with what they have. With 71 points now, at least they're a step closer. But with 45 seconds left, I don't think it's gonna be an easy push for them. They gotta be more cautious now. As soon as Pretty Poise, I believe it was, went down to Inkel, the Baller should have just tried to pick up the clam and back away instead of push in. Because they could have tried to keep the mid control they already had and try to get some more clams and try and build up more specials and get another push. Instead, we're seeing Sailor Veemos here going in with their own push. Are they going to be able to break that penalty, though? The answer is no. But the jump does come in, and it does work. So we're seeing now, with only 10 seconds left, Galinkxy has been given the daunting task of making what's effectively an 80-point push in 20 seconds.
So if they can manage to make this, it's going to be a very tight margin. Already 2 members down here. It's looking very, very unlikely. As Really is starting to push in. They managed to take out the heavy. Zackboy does manage to take out one, but Inkel takes out the other. He's got plenty of claims to be able to just make up a super claim. Chooses not to. As we're seeing here, that Sailor Veemos is just choosing to deny the enemy the ability to enter mid in the first place, which all but guarantees they have no overtime to spare. And it's looking like it's just going to be game to Sailor Veemos.
Yeah, and just as he said that. There he goes. A lot of it has to chalk up to not their use of specials, but also their use of like positioning. Actually, we don't see how it moves in and out.
Yeah, what we saw is that Tomio on the Dynamo there was hard countered pretty much by Inkel on the Spider Shot Pro, because every time the Dynamo wanted to try and take a position, they couldn't, as the K-Pro would just snap to them and get rid of them straight away. And it meant that their mid control was hampered just because one of their anchors was unable to do any anchoring, pretty much.
That's very true.
Yeah, and I feel that was one of the key things that really happened in that match. Also, just that Sailor Veemos held mid control the entire time because of lack of an anchor. It meant they could push in more because there wasn't an anchor in mid that was contesting them, and it meant even if they didn't have necessarily the optimal special coordination for clams, it meant that they still managed to get some very strong pushes in there. And yeah, it was just a very daunting task for Galinkxy, to say the least.
Okay, now this is going to be an interesting one, because right now we are stuck in this situation where we do see that Sailor Veemos has a lot of tools to go into tower control well. They had like rays, they had burst bombs, we had rain as well. In a lot of their kits, they had a lot of control and like anything that would do damage like consistently over time, which means that will push them back. But that's the thing, because we have seen Brett and Tomoyo being their long-range, like so-called anchors, having a lot of it. Zackboy might have to go in, Pretty Boys might have to go in, and that might be the biggest mistake in their lives to make against Sailor Veemos in tower control, especially in a map so small like Kelp Dome. I don't think you want to move in just like that.
Yeah, I feel ultimately talk about damage over time, but I ultimately feel that Kelp Dome on TC, it's a bit of a slugfest, you know? That first checkpoint is just a big old grinder, and it's gonna grind a lot of meat from both of these teams. I don't think damage over time specials are ultimately gonna help unless it's on the offense. Like on the defense, you can't. I don't know. If they can make it work, they can make it work. But I feel ultimately it's best used on offense because you can shut down the areas that ultimately overlook first checkpoint and start to make a push going out of it. But if Galinkxy is stuck on the back foot this round, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to make use of a special like that unless they've got really good coordination on how to actually approach the checkpoint from all these drop downs. So getting into the round, we do see that they aren't sticking with any kind of rain whatsoever, which I think is a safe bet for them. And what we're seeing instead is that they're going for the Clash Neo with the Tenor Missiles, which are a bit of a weak choice on this map because of all the grades. It's not the best on this map just because of the grades that block all of the Tenor Missile shots over most of the checkpoint, right?
Not the missiles. Not the missiles, but I think Clash Blaster in general is great on tower because you're able to cut corners and it has a high rate of fire. And then you get caught the first 2 hits, you're done. Don't even think about it.
And we are seeing here that Galinkxy does go numerous down there. I wasn't entirely sure because we were talking about clashes all the time, but I believe it was that Inkel and yeah, we're looking at the spike count here. It looks like it was mostly Capitan really with 2 spots as well as Rura and 2 seconds.
We have one coming in by Inkel.
Yeah, we are seeing the BO bomb was a bit wasted, didn't find a target here. Tomoyo showing what the Dynamo is good at here, getting the defense on the first checkpoint, showing why this map has a reputation of being a meat grinder. And now it means that Galinkxy here has the opportunity to start taking mid control, start pushing in. Pretty Boys here has the Tenor Missiles. They're going to try and use them. I'm not sure if they managed to target 2 people, and also at least that Red went down. Pretty Boys goes down. Tomoyo is forced to use a BR bomb in the middle of nowhere and jump out. So you can see here, Sailor Veemos faced after a wipe, they immediately get back control and they're already on the push again. It was only within 15 seconds. And we're seeing here, really does manage to get an inkjet on, I believe it was the Clash. And they're getting past first checkpoint for free, which means that the only thing that can really stop the Stingray for the time being is a Stingray. Capitan here getting 1, manages to get 2 of them with the Stingray. Very, very useful. This map has always been good for Ray, especially on TC, just showing how useful it is with the 2 spots. Moving all the way now onto final checkpoint, as Galinkxy here, stuck in a bad spot. Tomoyo goes down to a spark bomb because of an unfortunate horizontal swing. Zackboy goes down, Brett's forced to look into T-Techs that take him out, a straight wipe, a complete snowball effect for Sailor Veemos there. Didn't have the brakes on whatsoever outside of the one wipe they got, and just really showing that good aggression pays off on this map. As we saw from really getting the Inkjets or the Stingray that was aggressively used on their base on the offense, or just even the Booyah Bombs, I guess. You saw that, yeah, it was just a really offensively focused team comp, and it kept the momentum up for them, and that was really important, because TC Kelp Dome is a map where momentum really matters, because as long as you can get past first checkpoint, the knockout is within reach at any point realistically, as long as you get the good wipe and the setup into their base. And we saw that
that's always true.
Sailor Veemos got that, and it just paid off for them instantly. They got another wipe in their base. So Galinkxy had no options to really counterplay that, and it was a straight knockout. Very strong performance there from Sailor Veemos.
They didn't have turf control. That's the biggest problem. Brett was the only one with like immense turf control, but even then, once they're down, Tomoyo can't turf. You had Zackboy who had going close to turf, which basically already limits his options. And then you had the Clash Blaster. And I think Pretty Boy's got the idea of turfing, but I don't think that's the weapon you want to turf with, right?
Well, the thing about it is that turf control and Kelp Dome specifically is a bit of a weird one, because once you have control, the turf control makes total sense. But if you're in a knockout position, like you're funneled into two directions anyway, right? You're either going on the grates, you're going straight in the tower path, or you're going for a flank that probably means you're not going to get anything done. And
that's fair.
And so it means that turf control in a defensive situation on that map isn't super important. It's more about being able to use your kit to actually get picks on the enemy and start to slowly break through them then. And that's what Galinkxy wasn't able to do. We're moving on now to let me just double check on my little handy map list here. We're moving on to game 5.
Yeah.
And
we do see a game 5 hype, right?
Yeah, the inevitable 5 hype, classic one. Yeah, it's been fairly decisive on all the matches so far. The last 3 matches have been pretty much straight knockouts on the respective winning teams so far. The only one that was even was the first match. So going into another Rainmaker match, I'll be very interested to see which trend follows. Is it going to be a nice even Rainmaker match, or is it going to be a complete knockout in one direction?
I don't know about you, but I'm rooting for Galaxy. I think they've showed exceptional play here, and following the trend, I think they won Rainmaker just now, which is also interesting. But they won it by a margin. Like, it was really close at the end, and then they won it by a landslide. So yes. I kind of feel a bit like unsure of my pick here. You know?
What I would say is that Tomoyo is sticking with the Dynamo. This is a fairly alright map for Dynamo on defense. But if Incal on a K-Pro or Capitan on the on any kind of long-range anchor just manages to shut them down again, they're going to have no impact on defense for Galinkxy, which is going to be pretty devastating for them. So hopefully that doesn't come to pass as we move into this match.
Alright,
and now moving in, we see that Tomoyo does indeed stick with the Dynamo, and we see Incal and Capitan both sticking with their respective weapons, which means that Tomoyo here having a bit of a bad matchup for most of this set, I feel, as the Dynamo does have pretty strong capabilities, but I feel they just aren't able to let them shine against Sailor Veemos in their current comps. We do see here that Tomoyo is sticking to the left on mid, and they do manage to go down to, I believe it was the Heavy, going for an early flank.
Zackboy almost going down there.
Yeah, Zackboy approaching the Heavy does go down now. And as we can see, Sailor Veemos here, outside of the fact that Red is still controlling mid for the most part, Sailor Veemos has total mid control here. Tomoyo going for an aggressive Dynamo spot does manage to trade with Capitan, which means that Sailor Veemos don't have a Stingray for the counter ray. And they're just kind of debating, they're picking up the Rainmaker. As we can see, really here with a very aggressive base push. However, the raid does come out, but they do manage to get it all the way to 28, which, although it isn't a great push, it's a very good opening. It does, however, mean that Galinkxy does have the Rainmaker in their base now, which is probably going to be proving to be more beneficial for them than harmful. So I'm not sure if Galinkxy necessarily make the best play there, pushing in without the team. But we do see now Armor here does manage to, the Stingray does manage to take out 1-2, they're 3 down now, but they do manage to reset it because luckily there is that reset point on this map and they were able to reach it before they went down, so Sailor Veemos don't have an easy ride now. They're choosing to push down from the left, but the Roller does manage to take out one of them, as really does manage to not escape. I believe the Dynamo got them, it was just out of view. We're seeing now Bread choosing to pick it up, which might not be the wisest choice considering the lack of run speed on an anchor traditionally, but we are seeing that the anchors now are both pushing into mid. However, we're also seeing that really here, going with the flank, looking right at them, gets a splat bomb, doesn't manage to get anyone sadly.
They're truly anchoring the game.
Yeah, really does manage to go down, but it was enough of a distraction it seems for the Booyah bomb and the Stingray to come in. The Booyah bomb just next them gets the splat here. We're seeing the roller trades with Inkel as well, and they're actually both 2 down now, which means that mid control is going to be up for grabs here for Galinkxy here. Tomio doesn't manage to get the splat, however, on I believe it was really well they did in the end actually. Sorry, and we're seeing here now that the heavy is going for a flank. Might be able to find a pick here, depends. Yep, Bread got pressured by Inkel by the looks of it, and they did manage to get it. However, Captain in a bit of a bad spot now, as he's facing pretty much the entirety of the team. Doesn't manage to get a pick on anyone, sadly, but it does look like really was cleaning up for at least a little while. Now it's finally time for Galinkxy here. They've got the mid control. They're starting to finally get ready for a push.
Their comebacks here.
Yeah, sorry, they managed to get one, but we're seeing here, Stingray once again comes out, the counter raid happens, but Bread gets outgrade, so does Tomio go down, Zackboy goes down, effectively a wipe, now only the roller left up, just sharking a little bit, but really not being able to get them sadly. Captain does manage to finish it off, and now we're back into a mid situation that is once again in Sailor Veemos' favour. So this rather reckless, teamless 28 push, proving to be quite a decisive marker so far, considering that Galinkxy hasn't been able to actually push it out of mid so far.
It's gonna be an interesting one to see. Like, it's going to go down to who can make the most reckless push, actually. I really hope that it was the other way around, but it doesn't seem like if they do anything safe, it's gonna save them. That's kind of the problem I'm seeing here.
We are seeing really goes for an inject, gets stuck under the grate, gets taken out by Zackboy. Bit of an unfortunate map there. But we do see that Sailor Veemos gets an improved lead by almost 9 points exactly. And that is even stronger now. It's still not great considering that a lot of pushes, if you get an organized area denial, proper what timing with the team wipe, etc., you can get it all the way to 10 typically on this map. But we're seeing that Sailor Veemos here, they aren't choosing to rest on their score and just kind of play defense the whole round. They're still actively controlling mid, actively trying to push up and make sure that the enemy
That's the biggest point here. If they keep holding on mid, there's nothing they can do. Galankxy has to slowly push in, and their team composition isn't ready for that. That's the whole problem. They're here to slay, but with no turf and no control, they can't do anything. Red is their only anchor here. That's the problem.
One of the biggest issues, right, is that Sailor Veemos here is running with triple shooter, just general shooters, which gives them a lot of just general versatility in like map control and oh, nice 1v1 here on the zaps going on. Doesn't look like Zackboy does win the duel there. But what I was trying to say is that the triple shooters does mean that ultimately they get way more map control. And then you look at Galinkxy and they're running a roller, and they don't want to deal with that kind of map control. You look at the map still, like Galinkxy here trying to forge out a bit of a path here, really stuck on the behind. But the Stingray does manage to come out, and Fushi does manage to come in and get the splat right when it mattered here, and they're probably not going to get the time. Yep, no chance to pop it. That's game to Sailor Veemos. Galinkxy almost got the runaway lead there, but a combination of Stingray and some a good flanking from Sailor Veemos meant that dream was cut short by about 6 whole points, which pretty clutch for them and pretty sad for Galinkxy. Now
and there we have it, right?
Yeah. No, it's still a best of 9.
You see, this is how out of tune I am with like the Oceanink series. You can tell that I'm out of tune. Oh.
No worries,
but
we've still got 4 whole maps to choose.
So I'm sorry. Now I remember what they call me. They call me Game 9 hype. Are we gonna see a Game 9 hype?
I was running
Game 6 hype. Game 6 hype. Woo.
Yeah. Either way, it's a 3-2 advantage to Sailor Veemos here. Moving into Game 6 on Splat Zones on Anchovy. Quite an interesting map. Once again, this is one where I think that Double Anchor might work for Galinkxy here just because of the map design, but I did a scrim against Midnight where they ran Double Anchor. I believe it was Charger and Heavy, and as soon as we took them out, they had no ability to retake the mid once again. And
no ability.
yeah, I worry that if Galinkxy sticks to the team comp like that, it might be the end for them. We do see that I believe Tomoyo did end up subbing out here. I believe it was just it was a terrible matchup for Dynamo against triple shooters that held all mid control, etc. So I think it was a wide choice to sub out. Hopefully it works out for the team better.
Maybe. But let's see who they swap out. Did they swap out to Glitch, which is another roller? So now we have technically a double roll. I want to see how this goes. This is interesting. Because now their team composition is 3 offense, 1 anchor. And like this looks like
better.
This looks like pre Prismatic Gaze. Like they just got aggressive and like, no, you don't get zone, you don't get anything. All you get is spawn. And it's interesting to see how this will actually play out in the end. But also, I think they have a good chance here. Splato's Anchovy Games has always been a map that long-range players excel due to the moving platforms. It gives them a lot of versatility to move out of the way and deny people of like getting to them. As well as the fact that they also have a lot of like choke points and corners, giving a lot of the roll-ups that we have in Galaxy a better chance to win. But I don't think they're gonna allow that. Captain as well has a Booyah Bomb and an Ink Storm. We've seen these two been in play already, so I'm really hoping to see like how they're gonna play around with more so than how they're gonna try it. I think they're just going to hope for the and then try to like, defend as much as they can.
I really do hope that Captain here sticks with the remix kit on the heavy, just because Stingray is not very useful in this map. It can do stuff, but the map has too much verticality differences to really be able to effectively get splats with it. So hopefully they do switch to one of the old kits, as it will definitely help Sailor Veemos control the map a whole lot more. And we do see here that Bread's sticking with that, and Captain here sticking with the vanilla one with the Stingray. Hoping to get some splats, hopefully, because they don't have a whole lot of specials to control the zone. You look at it, they've got armor, and an Inkjet and a Stingray. None of those are traditionally things you'd think about that are really good for zone. I mean, Ink Armor is, but it's not used for the control capabilities. And we're seeing that early map control does go over to Galinkxy here, really going for a flank. Bread just says no. And we're seeing here that indeed, Incal does manage to get a pick. The armor goes out, but so does the Stingray. Armor goes out for Sailor Veemos now, and it's looking like Incal, they do manage to survive thanks to some panic booyah bombs here. But the roller goes right into the zone, does manage to splash down on it, and they do manage to contest zone still. Now, all the bubbles effectively... Oh, double with the little bubble pop there. Very, very, very clutch from Brett. However, really goes in with the flank here, and they do manage to take up... they've effectively got all of the control. Pretty Poise here, trying to paint up base, but I've got to ask, for what purpose? You just got splattered there. No special control for you now. We are seeing... Roller goes back onto zone, and that was interesting. I'm assuming that was just spectator lag. Really going out with the Inkjet here onto that plat. Bit of a bad angle here as they can get shot down. Does manage to get Zachboy in a trade though. Not ideal, but still useful. As we're seeing now, Sailor Veemos got the score all the way down to 50. Captain here has a pretty good control here. Armor's come out, and you've got the roller and the NZAP both looking at it. But the NZAP does go down, and the roller gets taken up by Inkel. Meant the flank got cancelled pretty much effectively instantly. Captain got the Stingray ready now, just getting some jumps in, maybe going to go for the Ray exactly right when I thought it would happen. Possibly going to find some picks, but more importantly going to be able to stall the counter now as it goes down to 10 and remaining. 6, now the bubbles do come out. Captain is trying to get the roller, does manage to get the roller, and they do get the cap, the bubbles don't work, really gets the splat, that's going to be game.
Yep, they're holding it down. Sailor Veemos takes the game from there.
Yes, we saw. Even without necessarily the best specials to be able to control the zone, what they had was really good capability to be able to lock out Galinkxy, and we've seen that time and time again throughout this set. That it's just been a constant lack of retake options from Galinkxy, I guess would be the proper way to put it. And it's really hurting them as now I believe, I'm just going to double check so I don't say anything wrong, but I believe it is going to be game point for Sailor Veemos now. And,
yeah, it is game point for Sailor Veemos. They are now 4-2 with Galankxy being 2, Sailor Veemos being 4. It is going to be really close. I think them switching out might be just because not just because of controls issues, because I'm looking at chat now. I think Tomoyo has actually complained that controls are having issues, but I think that a lot of the team is just starting to fall apart. Sailor Veemos just sees the cracks in Galaxy's plays now, and they're trying to just go for it. They see how Brett is their main anchor, they just need to go for it, and then suddenly their whole team falls apart from there. Or they see Glitch going into the corner and they pick the others off one by one, and then Glitch is now suddenly off the corner somewhere and nobody knows where. I think they're just exploiting these moments.
And we're also seeing that game point here on Sailor Veemos is on Clan Blitz Reef, which is a very, very aggressive-oriented map that is really going to favor Sailor Veemos being able to control mid, which they've done for a lot of these maps. So I would say that Galinkxy here is on a pretty uphill battle to be able to get a reverse sweep going at this point. And
hey now, Game 9 hype.
You can only hype up Game 9 when it comes, sadly. And it's going to be quite a slim chance at this rate here, because yeah, I feel that if Captain here goes for the bull point, it's probably going to be. I mean, I would say it's debatable as to whether the vanilla heavy or the bull point would be better on this map, but I ultimately think it would be the bull point, as it controls bridge a lot easier, I guess, would be the main reason I'd say.
But not rain exactly. I don't think they'll have rain out, right?
What? Pardon?
I don't think they'll have like Inkstorm out, right? For this, especially since it's the reef as well.
But it still works, because what you do, right, is it's Clan Blitz, you throw it at the basket, and now people can't look at the basket and try and stop you from scoring because our rain.
Oh, that's a good point. You know what? That makes a lot of interesting plays now. But also, I think that's another thing we used to do, right? If you had rain in the reef, they're not allowed to go up. They have to go underneath, and then it becomes like a war zone downstairs.
Because, yeah, the thing about rain, right, is you can look at it as turf control, but what it's more important is it's about area denial. And if you think about that in terms of Clan Blitz, area denial is pretty important. As we do see here, Brett going for the Tenterbrella, I believe that was the Sorella, and Captain sticking with the Stingray variant here. He's been feeling confident with that, I suppose.
That's fair.
We're seeing, yeah, Tenterbrella. I can see the use. It's a general Clan Blitz pick, and it's also fairly strong on the bridge here, but ultimately that depends if Brett can actually get the shields out. They are focusing more on offense. They've left their back completely open for Inkel. Does manage to get the pick on the roller. Bit of a altercation here with Zackboy. They do manage to trade. But Brett here does manage to get the pick. There's a jump in mid, a bit of a calling timed one. But really here is a roller and doesn't really care about whether you're looking at the jump mark and managed to just roll over for a clean 2 here. But does get taken up base here. It's Fishy here. Going to pick up a power climb and just start thinking about a push here.
Is the push coming? Do we see it coming?
I don't think it's happening yet. They don't have the specials up, they don't have the climbs up. It's just not happening yet. But I think as soon as Sailor Veemos can get the specials ready, and they maybe get a pick or two on it, it's going to happen.
It's
as we're seeing now,
happen.
a baller exploded to win a 1v1, I think. We're seeing really here behind the base. Brad also gets taken out by the Stingray. Pretty poised here, stuck in their basket. The climb has been dropped here because the Enzap did go down. Yeah, we're seeing Captain here has to retreat, in fact. It's really starting to look like Galinkxy here might be able to gain the mid control here, but it seems the Brella might be the right pick for them. Really is looking for a flank.
I don't know, Brella has traditionally been good, right? To my knowledge, I think Brella has always been a good pick for any map with a small choke point. They want to push in for it. It gives them a lot more places to move around, and like, you know, this entire wall that you just walk behind. So it's always good to have that in play here. And also Bubbles, another thing is great. I forgot to mention that in Clan Blitz. And we do see Captain just moving in slowly, just trying to weave in and weave out for an opportunity to go in, but Galankxy is just holding down the fort here.
Yes, I think really here, picking Roller, I'm not sure if it was the best idea. I can see it in theory, but in practice, he is unable to really push into the enemy's plat very effectively. He's gotten a couple splats out of it, but just not enough to really dedicate a push out of it. And in fact, both rollers here going for fairly equal KDs, but ultimately I feel like their actual map objective hasn't been working in their favor. We saw that Galinkxy here was going for like a flank into super jump kind of strategy, but I believe it was Inkel that caught it out fairly fast. Now we're seeing Fushi here in mid, while Inkel's currently going on the flank. Fushi's going to go for the super jump. Captain's going to go for the super jump. No baller necessary, going straight into the basket. Gets a clean 1. Fushi misses, but Captain's able to pick it up nice and clean for a 360. It's not the best push. They did get wiped for it, but it's a score on the board on a fairly brutal map for both teams so far. And I think that's fairly important for them.
Yeah, definitely important for them, especially in a game where they are already so close. They're contending for mid a lot. I think any point that goes in is a lead nonetheless. It's going to be a big margin for them to cross.
However,
But
we're
as we
seeing
say
Captain
that,
here
yeah.
is able to pretty much just stop Pretty Poise from being able to get the lead on their own now, and we're seeing Really and Fushi here getting the mid control, getting ready for a counter push now, because that fairly weak push there from Galinkxy is going to give them the freebie they need to be able to make a strong push. Really does go down. However, Fushi here unable to find anyone settled. Pretty Poise here is Brett and Pretty Poise both kind of cornered there. But Brett does manage to win a duel against the N-Zap. Doesn't manage to win a duel against a Roller dropping down on them with a
Unfortunate, right?
Yeah, we do see Really going here on the flank now. Hopefully they do manage to get one. They do manage to only get one, such as Roller flanks. Yeah, it's still mostly a bloodbath and mid here. We're seeing Roller and Galinkxy here looking to perhaps flank, but they haven't really dedicated themselves to it yet. Does find the pick on Inkel there for being patient. Does get Really as well. Does get Capitan as well.
Nicely done.
Galinkxy, they're gonna get a possible lead in here. They do manage to get this clams in, but it's still 7 points away. It's going to be on the Roller, but they've splashed down and lost all their clams now. Are they going to be able to actually make it to the basket? The answer is kind of. And Zackboy does have a couple clams. They do manage to get the lead out of it. Sailor Veemos was unable to split it in time. And Pretty Poor up here on the back of the basket, just getting all the way to sub 50.
Oh, they're moving it down to 40.
Yes, sub 50, that's pretty strong now, especially with only 30 seconds left. However, now the defensive momentum is in Sailor Veemos' favor, and Really's already looking at the basket now, already focusing on trying to flank around Brad here, stuck around the shield. Really does manage to go right to the basket, uncontested. It's basically a free basket, but they don't have anyone around. It was too hasty. They do get the super jump, and it comes in! I did not think that was going to land, but with the timer, that means that Sailor Veemos wins because they cannot close the basket in time. Oh wait, do they? I think maybe I got the rules.
I think they do.
Okay, I got the rules on overtime wrong. Sorry, my bad. But we are seeing now it's a very clutch game because all that Galinkxy needs is a break on the basket and 2 clams. And what we're seeing is Pretty Poor here managed to get Zackboy in. They do get the clam in, but Pretty Poor does go down. And Zackboy is unable to get any clams in as he loses a 2v1. Brett does come in, gets one. They do get it! They got enough clams, they got enough super jumps to be able to get the lead, and they managed to survive. So we're going to move on to Game 7, because Galinkxy managed to win that victory by a millimeter.
That's a big win for them. I think they're going to be able to push on a bit further with that. And that's their biggest, like, I would say achievement, in a sense. Because this is definitely the way they have to go. They now know what they're trying to do. And I think that might actually give them, like, an idea of, like, oh, okay, so this is how we're going to move in. And, like, how we're going to push in. But there are 9 games total maximum. It is going to be hard to try and implement it on the fly. I really don't know how this is going to go. So let's just see, like, what they're going to go for. Because I think the next map, I'm looking at it now, and it's going to be a map that you want a lot of more controlled and more, like, slaying. And they were struggling already. Yeah.
The thing is, there's always been one flaw to super jumps on Clan Blitz, which if Sailor Veemos knew about and was able to capitalize on it, that overtime would not. And the flaw about super jumps is if you get a bomb explosion. So normally, basically the way hit detection works in this game is that if you get someone with normal means and you get someone with a bomb, they work in 2 different ways, right? So if you get someone with a normal shot, it takes time for your shots to be registered and for them to for the game system on their end to say I've been hit, and then they get splattered, right? But if you look at the bomb, to my knowledge, it works straight on their end, or roundabout that way. What it means, right, is that there is no lag on bomb kills, pretty much. You know. Right, is that all that lead up was to say if you get a bomb kill that explodes on the exact frame pretty much they jump in, they do not have a single opportunity to throw a clam in. So if Sailor Veemos had offensive bombs, I think they did, and they were able to actually throw one at the super jumps, they timed it correctly and exploded it. You know, you have to take it into lag into account in an environment like that though. Sailor Veemos would have been able to clutch out the overtime pretty comfortably. But that's just, I'm not saying it would have happened, I'm just informing everyone that if you ever encounter a super jump, you don't just need to sit there and shoot at it. If you can time a bomb throw, you can get rid of the clam, and you don't have to worry about them hitting your scoreline. Just keep that in mind if you ever see some super jump ballers, because it's always an option, and you should always try to go for it.
Alright, now you see who's the technical one, right? It's not me, it's
yeah, the one that's in Div 1. Anyway, we're moving on to TC on Waku now. This is also quite a bloodbath of a map then. First checkpoint, quite brutal. And mid-control here, very, very decisive. So, moving on to Game 7 now, we're going to be able to see...
Wahoo!
Tomio does come back in here with the Dynamo. And now Sailor Veemos here, sticking with their comp because it's been working for them so far. Both teams having a main-up K-Pro. And one thing that's interesting is that Galinkxy isn't choosing to run armor anymore, and we're also seeing that Tomio on the Dynamo here is going for the Stingray variant instead of the Booyah variant. Just a bit of a smaller detail. Dynamo here just getting some ink on the tower, trying to apply pressure. Stingray does come out. Unable to really find anyone straight away, and Inkel does go down to a 2v1 for the looks of it.
That's unfortunate.
We are seeing Tomio here in mid, does manage to take out Capitan, and I don't think there's anyone else in mid at the moment, so it looks like it's Galinkxy's favour to try and actually start getting push going. Really going for the flank here, might be able to find, yeah, the roller does go down, ends the push, but they've still got members up to make a push, but they both go down to effectively a splat bomb, I believe, and now we're seeing that Sailor Veemos has all the mid control to game, they've got the members in the position already, armor's out, they're ready to start making a push. Oh wait, that wasn't armor, it was a Booyah bomb.
No, that wasn't armor.
The Booyah bomb does come out here. It tries to threaten them, doesn't manage to, and the Dynamo does go down. The roller tries to find someone, goes for 2 swings, finds nobody. Captain does get lead, however, it's a pretty slim one. Bread here just going to try and hover onto tower. Really manages to get the tower just another point. But
a little bit down, well.
Oh, you see another checkpoint. Yeah, all the way to 75. Yeah. I wasn't joking when I said first checkpoint and this is quite a mess. It's yeah.
It's hard for them to do anything, and like with them having Booyah Bomb, that means that a lot of their specials are being refilled as fast as they would normally chuck it out. Especially since most of their specials are also a low cost one. They don't take long to charge, and with Booyah Bomb and increasing it as fast as like it comes out, it becomes a wonder how you're gonna actually like compete against your team. It's a lot about special control and turf control. And right here we do see Inkel like going in for it. And unfortunately just going down. Tower is back to Galinkxy.
You see Capitan here trying to go for the Stingray to stop the push. Does manage to not find anyone by the looks of it. Seb has to back up for the counter raid, and the special for a special, nobody goes down. We do see the Booyah Bomb and the Splashdown, they're all coming out to try and get the control. The roller is the only one up on the team, however, and it doesn't look like they're going to try and approach a tower with 3 shooters on it. Does manage to get Inkel, and they're keeping the tower here, unable to go down. But, oh man, does manage to take out 2, just shows, if you're unable to take out a roller, they're going to take out you.
It's always the case, right, rollers?
Yeah.
And with main power up, I don't want to be in that end of that, no. Tomo, you're here with the Dynamo, hoping to get something down. Unfortunately, hitting the wall. I think he would have gotten a kill right there. Nice splat.
You see, Tomio there was kind of just making a misplay there, because ultimately they were slowly getting surrounded. They slowly ran out of ink. At about like 3 seconds before they actually got splatted is probably when they should have jumped out. But they just chose to try and get it, and they weren't able to. So I think Sailor Veemos here now with the armor out with the Booyah Bomb with an inkjet ready. They're going to go for yet another push, hopefully trying to actually break through the checkpoint this time. We do see the K-Doilies has got down. The roller, however, also, the K-Pro does go down. But Tomio here, left as one of the only members up, both rollers, and they do manage to get both of them. So, they got the lead, the captain. I was not paying attention.
There we go, there we go.
Yeah, we do see that Captain there was just able to kind of sneak on tower when both rollers weren't looking and does get a lead with a minute left, however. It's not the most stable lead with 3 whole points on first checkpoint, but it might just, it might hold depending on how defensive Sailor Veemos is able to get. Booyah Bomb comes out, Zackboy's sitting on tower, Inka walks into a 3v1 effectively, but Bread goes down. Captain, however, can't really approach the checkpoint, and oh! Sorry, it looks like Lily was able to get rid of all of them. With only 50 seconds left now, it's very much in, it's still very much in Galinkxy's favour, just because Sailor Veemos does not have anyone situated in mid right now, and they don't have the ability to right now. So, we're seeing Tomoyo here does manage to get Inkel. Zackboy is just chilling on tower here. It's pretty much all up to really just to be able to try and stop the tower from getting linked down once again. However, he's in effectively a 2v1. Plus the heavy, plus the stingray. There's a 1 point difference on lead right now, and and they can't get on tower. It got lost. It has control, but the suction, but the jumps. This might be lead on their part. It depends.
Come on, they just need 1 point in, right? That
really lost it. They didn't manage to get it.
There we go.
Really does manage to get a trade, but it is not enough. With only 4 seconds left, we're seeing here pretty decisive. Sailor Veemos did lose that one. They lost mid control for about a minute there, and they were unable to reclaim it. Pretty unfortunate.
That's Wahoo for you. You lose mid instantly. It's gonna landslide because that almost means your entire team is wiped most of the time. It's really hard to come back from that. And with the map being so like cornered or like so narrow, it becomes a battle of like in sense 1v1s and how you pick them up. And I think Galinkxy had the right composition for it, having rollers to really counter that, even though they had shooters on the other end. And yeah, we do see our game 9. I don't know. Yeah. It's fun, right? Yeah. We get a 4-4, now we get to see our game 9. Are we gonna get some game 9 hype? Gobby Arena Rainmaker, right?
Yeah. If there's ever been a map to do a game 9 on, it's certainly been this. I don't know if anyone at Midnight is watching, but I'm very sorry about what we did a couple of days ago. Yeah, this is a pretty interesting Rainmaker map. It's quite a choke point, but if you make it through that choke point, it's your game to win. And we're going to see which team is able to actually overtake it in the end. Also, sorry if my commentary is slowly getting a little
It's alright. I mean, like, it's all right.
I haven't had a drink in 3 games now, and my vocal cords are starting to...
3 games?
My drink ran out. Yeah, so we do see yeah, onwards to Rainmaker Gobi. Both teams have a strong showing here. I'd say that rollers do work especially well. And yeah, I feel like both teams, if they pull out a roller, I think Relay's probably better off on the 10 attack here, but a roller is still a pretty good pick on this map. And yeah, it's looking pretty spicy for a game 9. Yeah, sorry about the lack of air. But yeah, on this map, essentially you've only really got the one realistic option, and it's just get the wipe and push down the left push. And
that's fair.
Yeah, the best way to go for that is to get a couple picks, push up on the plat, get a couple more picks, and just start to lock it down as the Rainmaker pushes through. That's your best bet. And if either of these teams can really get a setup like that going, it's going to be smooth sailing all the way to a 11 push or something.
I think AO in here will be really good as well, because not only do you have the Rainmaker, but that means if you have like an Explosion, you're going to cover a lot of ground really fast. And with the Explosion's range, it actually goes all the way to the other side, right? So you're going to get a lot of coverage.
And we're seeing here, Roller does come out really instead going for the Cancer Shot. Interesting pick. Otherwise, most teams here looking fairly similar all around, so a fairly consistent game 9. We'll see how the score goes though, because that's probably been the least consistent thing about this this map.
All the best is still Veemos and Galinkxy, right? And right now we do see that the control for tough control here is going to Sailor Veemos here. Zackboy is trying to hold his ground.
Inkel goes down to a curling bomb. It does mean that Galinkxy is going to try and push up. They get the armor going, and they get another pick. It means Sailor Veemos is effectively 3 down. Heavy here in a bit of a spared spot. They have to back up to try and get the defense going. They do manage to get one of them. They do manage to get 2 of them, but they get taken up by a Booyah bomb as a sacrifice. So we're seeing now Galinkxy here with a strong mid control, trying to get a forward push going with Brett on the right. The Booyah bomb comes out from Inkel, going to try and throw it behind the hoop, doesn't manage to find anyone. And it's essentially just Sailor Veemos trying to make it back to mid.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to Galinkxy's favor, but we have seen like time and time again throughout the entire set that Sailor Veemos has been able to push back. So I'm really hoping to see some, cool shenanigans come out from them. Sailor Veemos has definitely been surprising us here tonight in opening.
We do see
as well.
Roller here in a bit of bad turf, does have the panic splashdown. However, Tomoyo here goes for a trade with the Rainmaker. Pop top is still looking to be Galinkxy's favor, but they go 2 down. Zackboy's stuck on the tower. Inkel does see that through, however, does get them popped. Now it's their pop to pick, only the Dynamo's up. However, there was once Sailor Veemos picks this up and starts bringing it for the push, all of Galinkxy will be ready to respawn, so nowhere near a safe push yet. However, the Dynamo does go down, and they manage to push 49. The Stingray's still out, and they do manage to get Zackboy. We're seeing now, oh yeah, sorry, my voice is really starting to go. They were trying to get a push going, however, Sailor Veemos is still firmly stuck in mid. Bread does go down, but Tomio is just looking over the Rainmaker and stopping any push from really going in for the time being. Got a B-up on ready, gets a clean pick on Captain. And,
nicely done by Tomoyo there. But to me, it's surprising to see how they were actually able to go in all the way, even though, like, really was just going for, like, a suicide push, right? It was running straight in. And that was the... And again, we do see really going for it one more time.
Really pushing for 20, all the way to 11.
Really? Are you kidding me?
He brings it to 15, and against the full wrath of the enemy team,
this is your game 9, guys.
You're going to... That's the kind of push that you really can't top on this map. It's going to take a really dedicated effort, some good luck on the timing, for Galinkxy here to be able to actually make a comeback.
I think we just need one person to do the exact same thing really did. I mean, like, Christ, have you seen really just run straight in for it? Yeah, you just don't see it coming. It's like, I mean, really?
Yeah,
and there we go, Tomoyo getting caught down by really.
Oh, Brett gets taken out by the B-up bomb. The N-Tap does go down, wasn't able to get the armor out. Captain's got the Stingray ready, he might just be able to start try and trap the streams lacking.
Yeah.
He does go for the offensive raid. We're seeing here Inkel going for the push-up now while the Stingray distracts the enemy. Has to back off, however. Tomio's on the lower block. Does manage to take out the end. And
I think map awareness is really key right now because like they're not really paying attention to a lot of things here. The map is already really small on its own, and like as much as there are things that doesn't allow them to go any faster, map awareness is going to be key because they don't have time to run one whole round to catch them again. And if it goes the second time, that's it.
And one thing you're seeing is that Inkel is going for a lot of flanks and getting a lot of doubles here, and it's really hurting Galinkxy's ability to actually gain mid control and push back here because they're constantly going 2 down and the Rainmaker's getting snatched out of their hands by a cheeky little flanking K-Pro. Really here, chooses to pick up the Rainmaker and go for the push again, stuck in enemy ink, however, this Hackboy does get taken down, a bit of a lag trade set. What it does mean is the Rainmaker is in a terrible position for Galinkxy because they have to leave mid-control to be able to pop it and get it, and it's extra time. Even if they get the wipe, it means there's an extra 3 seconds for them to be able to actually reach mid-control. And yeah, we're seeing Tomio has to pick it up, which is a bit of a shame because Dynamo on offense would be probably really, really strong for them.
They need like the instant kill basically, like an instant splat for them is going to be really good. And right here we
just 30 seconds left on the timer, we're seeing Stingrays are being duped. But we're also seeing the Galinkxy here, they're both 1 down. Armor does go out on Galinkxy, and they're going to start trying to make a push now. The K-Pro does go down. Tomio here, bit of a stall though, really comes in from the bottom, does manage to clean up the Rainmaker.
Coming in.
Once again, a flank. Zackboy here, going up against Really, doesn't manage to do anything. The roller goes down, now Really's just ready to look over, try and take out the people looking at it, including Zackboy. Zackboy goes down, the jump goes down, that's game, yep.
Yeah, that's, yep.
That was, yeah, it was a game that was stuck in... It was stuck in mid for most of that, and then really that was just that one miracle push from Really who went through the entire enemy team, made a very strong lead for themselves, and that effectively won the series match for Sailor Veemos there from a single push from Really. That is yeah, that's one way to end a set.
I love this set. Like I think like this is like the best game 9 I have seen. As of late.
I wouldn't say it was the best game 9 just because it was pretty one-sided. You know, a good game 9 is the kind that you don't know who's going to win and it goes to overtime for 20 seconds. But that match definitely wasn't that.
It was a juke moment for that, right?
Yeah, it was a surprising moment. But I mean that once that surprise happened, it meant that Sailor Veemos had mid control for 80% of the match, and Galinkxy was just stuck in their base pretty much. Either way, I'm going to wrap up my thoughts quick because I'm running late on the scrim. Sorry about that, but
sure.
It was a very strong showing from both teams. Very strong comebacks, some slip ups, some great moments, and it was a strong set all around. And great job for both teams. I think you both put on a great showing, and I'll be signing out. No, sorry about that. Yeah, good job, and thanks Ryan for joining me on commentary.
Yeah, thank you so much. you know, I really love this new pairing of Goizord, right? I mean, like, I hope to see like this pairing come out a bit more. It's definitely one that we like to talk about. So I'll see you in another day, another stream.
Oh yes, and I'm just gonna say one thing before I go. There is quite a lineup of matches tomorrow, Saturday. I'm just gonna say sometimes here. We've got a match lined up Saturday at 6 p.m. AEST, then one at 7 p.m., then one at 8 p.m., then one at 9 p.m. So we're not going to confirm anything yet, but there might be a nice big old stream going on tomorrow night with all those back to back. So if you're looking forward to something like that, perhaps going on, feel free to keep an eye out for tomorrow night. But that's all I'm going to say now. I really should get going. Thanks you all for watching, and see you.
Thank you all for watching. Yeah, I'll see you too, Goi. Do we have anything else, Hess, before we wrap things up? If we don't, then I'll just hold on to it, but and like let everyone move out slowly. Yep, you got a mic now. Oh wait. All right, I'll just talk about it then. Yeah, so thank you all for watching. I think Sailor Veemos and Galinkxy has done a great job, like what Goi has said. It has been a set of a long rivalry for them, like having reformed participating to Galinkxy and then after that trying to go into Sailor Veemos. I think this is the first time they've actually done phenomenally well with Sailor Veemos. In fact, I really enjoy seeing their plays here. I think it's just a real unfortunate moment that really came in and just like, you know, give them the really moment. And then they're just standing there and they're like, really? Really? And that's really good. So on the other hand, I also love to see Galaxy go in for a new competition, seeing old faces come in with a new set of skills. In fact, it's really a fresh look and a fresh take to their team composition and their team in general. So with that being said, thank you all for watching Oceanink, the Oceanink series. We're in week 1 of season 4. So we have, how many more weeks do we have? Let's see, we have at least 4 weeks, I suppose. 4 to 8 weeks, right? So there's gonna be a lot to look forward to. 5 weeks, my bad. We have about 5 weeks to go into. So like what Goi said, tomorrow there might be a stream, tomorrow there might not. Just look out for it. I guarantee you one of us will be here talking about it. And if you just don't like to see the games, I don't know what you're doing. You should enjoy this. Oceanink has been a great help to many of the communities for Splatoon itself having hosted. So with that being said, I will catch all of you tomorrow, mostly in the afternoon, my time, which is 2 hours difference back, but I'll still see you all. So come back here, watch the games, we'll see you all. Thank you all for watching. It's Nyterra signing out, and Goizord just now, right? Goodbye, good night.